MDC Alliance national spokesperson, Advocate Fadzai Mahir, has said the party deliberated extensively on the need to rebrand following a proclamation by rival MDC that MDC Alliance is one of its own names and must never be used by any other party. Pinula News presents MDC Alliance's communiqué following its National Council's meeting on Saturday. Communiqué on 22/1 2022 National Council meeting. On the 22nd of January 2022, the National Council of the MDC Alliance met in accordance with the party's constitution. The National Council received the reports of the President and the Secretary-General. The following matters were deliberated upon. A governance and human rights crisis. 1. Economic and political environment. A people's leadership noted the deteriorating state of the economy, which has led to eroded purchasing power for citizens, rising cost of living, a remuneration crisis for civil servants, especially teachers and doctors, the breakdown of national infrastructure, the load-shedding crisis, and the decrepit state of our buses, which are leaking from their roofs. We call for the adoption of pro-people policies as set out in detail in our Smart Alternative Policy Framework. 2. Education crisis. We call for the immediate reopening of schools with adequate COVID-19 safeguards. The right to education must be respected. Education is the bedrock of any successful nation, and we remain deeply concerned by the neglect of this critical sector by Mr. Mnangagwa's anti-people regime. We stand in firm solidarity with teachers who were arrested for demanding a living wage. Under a people's government, the respect of the teaching profession will be restored. 3. Persecution of John Mupunduki. We demand an end to the continued persecution of John Mupunduki, who was abducted on the 22nd of January 2022. Despite the fact that he made a police report, no investigations have been conducted by the Zimbabwe Republic Police. Instead, he has been brought before the courts on flimsy, baseless charges. We call for an independent inquiry into his ordeal and for the criminal charges to be dropped. This pattern of conduct is similar to what we saw with the MDC trio. There ought to be no space for the abuse of citizens in a constitutional democracy. B. Zimbabwe Action for Change Agenda 2022.1. Citizens' Action for Change. In line with the tradition of the People's Movement, which commenced in 2019, the party sets the agenda for the nation in January of every year. The People's Leadership formally tabled and adopted Agenda 2022, which shall be announced in due course by the People's President, Ad Nelson Chamisa, in line with our annual tradition. We shall shortly communicate the date and time of this important address. Point 2. Election preparedness. The People's Council received the report of the Election Directorate on voter registration, conditions for free and fair elections and candidate selection processes. The People's Leadership noted that the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, ZEC, continues to act contrary to its constitutional imperatives to conduct voter registration and to conduct transparent, verifiable elections. While the movement has launched an intensive voter registration program in all provinces, we call upon ZEC to ensure more voter registration centers are available. We call for an urgent resolution of the national identity document crisis. The National Council further received a report from the Election Directorate on the progress of the community candidate selection process that is currently underway in all provinces for all wards and constituencies whereby elections shall take place. The People's Leadership emphasized the need to return the citizen to the center of decision-making at all levels. 3. Action on reforms. We reiterate our demand for electoral reforms, including entrenching the right to vote, particularly the diaspora vote for all citizens. We demand a credible voters' roll security of polling material, security of the vote and the voter, establishing transitional mechanisms so that there is a smooth transfer of power pursuant to free and fair elections, the introduction of a credible results management system and media reforms. As highlighted in our price, principles are reliable, inclusive and credible elections in Zimbabwe document, we further color the alignment of the Electoral Act to the Constitution, the demilitarization of the ZEC Secretariat, and a transparent census and delimitation process. 4. Behold the new. There was extensive deliberation on the need to give birth to the new in line with the expectations and clarion call from the citizens. The people's leadership is charting a new course that will lead to transformation and ethical leadership for the nation.